Sorry about that. I'm back. How to take that phone call? Okay, so what we have, where was it? Video sent over there. Okay. We went through the projectors, how that's connected. So we were here. RS323. Okay. So when that gets sent over to the projectors, the two side projectors, they are connected with DTP2, as I already mentioned, because they are supposed to be one screen together. So then to get control over them, you may be saying, where's the DTP2 transmitters in here? Which you would be right. There are none in here. They plan them in for them in here, but they aren't in here. That we move them to front of house. I'll explain that in a little bit. So that is for the oh, you know what? I bet that's yep. So then those two wires coming out of that touchscreen pad controller, that one there, they are the old mic wires, because with the CL3 the monitors were plugged directly into the back of that, and we didn't want them up there, and so they just came in here, found where they were, spliced them, and then moved on. So, AV ties. Our AV ties. These four are front of house. These four are stage manager box. I think pit. These go to the gridiron, catwalk, one of the side projectors, and the other side projector. If you notice, they put only two of these with push tabs here. We need all push tabs. They installed the wrong connector for everything. Because the cables they give us in turnover, they are all ones that interface with the push tab, which is also the same as what goes in the back of the little mini mixer here. So this, not mini mixer, this control surface, the mini surface, that it's the Heath IP8, it is connected via the Ethernet port and power supply. Ethernet port, it goes in here and then into the network port on the back of the mixer. It could have gone into, we did have it plugged into that Rio primary port there, except then it's just plugged into the back of here, so then it doesn't have to go through all that switch stuff. So it's the only one plugged into that network port there. So we have QLab on this computer, which then goes into the iRack, and then XLR into the mix rack. I'm going to get those up, or I'm probably just going to take these and move them all the way down there, add some cable. So then these two AV Type 4 and 5, they're sending the video to the TV monitor over there and the one at front of house. So how it's doing it is a bit convoluted, because I couldn't just use an HDMI splitter, because those monitors won't accept the signal that the camera is sending out until you change that little potentiometer on the back. So using that USB-B cable, it uses the webcam, it goes into my little hub, and then we have in here good old OBS, like a streaming software. Which, fun fact, if you have it OBS full screen or even miniature screen, unplug this hub, it will crash OBS and you'll have to redo it, restart it. So you open it up. It's literally just a video capture device because it thinks it's a webcam. And then, like right now, all the monitors can see this, although the computer does not recognize how its displays are set up. It just says one Blackmagic monitor, but whatever, it's mirroring it. So right click here, full screen projector, Blackmagic. So now our previous full screen using that USB webcam. So it's basically just a USB webcam. You could literally plug into a Chromebook and it would see it. HDMI out into HDMI into a Blackmagic bidirectional converter that then goes SDI into a Blackmagic SDI to HDMI converter, which this one then goes into the DTP2 transmitter. We were given 4 of them, 4 transmitters, 4 receivers via turnover gear. I wish they were XTP because then we could actually integrate them into our little switcher here via the extra ports. We're gonna try to get that changed. So then this transmitter has send power on. So the one up at front of house and over by the stage manager box does not actually need a power supply since it's getting fed through the cable. So that goes via AV tie into the AV tie and then out all the way over there. This one, that HDMI out then goes all the way up here into this DTP2 transmitter. And we have send power on here as well. That then this one goes into the AV tie for front of house. So that's our my little convoluted way. So this laptop purely is just basically the stage left monitor, and we have the stage right one over there. But the sound Foley artist over here mainly kept it. The reason we have the QLab computer all the way over here is because we had our sound designer over here where he was doing Foley with all the stuff that's now gone. I feel this a bit late, but QLab here to then play it, that goes into here, which we already talked about. So, don't know why. Sorry, I'm just sort of looking. So that was a small little overview of that. So now you can see we have 8 mic inputs here. We also have 4 floor pocket center mic inputs. So they're in this center floor pocket that has power but not a network connection. That aux mic, you also see an aux mic all the way stage right. That aux mic goes to that little Shure SCM mixer, and it is direct connection in there, so you could technically have a wired mic without that, except as you can see it's very loose. Just Edison power, constantly powered. As of now, all those wall outlets, Edison outlets, not on balcony but lower level against that wall, do not work. We have no idea why. So then as we move this little prop box, you can see this floor pocket here. This goes open and we have a lift connection. It is very strongly secured in there with no screws whatsoever. And the lift touchscreen panel is over here. If you're able to make sure all doors are closed when you do it, because they have sensors on them. Under the door in the dungeon right here, there's a little light switch up top that you can flip to turn those off. These lights do not work. Sorry. These lights do not work, and I've not been able to. These are the front fill speakers, which are from the MM4 Meyer Sound DSP. Those are also MM4 speakers. Next, we have how they got our video here. So we went over that stuff. So if you notice down here, there's two little DTP2 transmitters. Those go to the two side projectors via these AV ties. So how we get the video to those? So those are HDMI. They receive HDMI. How we get it? So this bundle here is a Matrox dual head 2-go digital SE splitter. So basically you plug into the computer. It thinks the computer has a super wide monitor. So it's basically like 1080 by 3760. And it uses DisplayPort. All the devices we are given have USB-C. These are MacBooks. They don't even have HDMI. USB-C. So you have to convert to DisplayPort. And then it goes into these to, you're right, with the screw, DVI. DVI. And then this cable is a cables to go DVI to HDMI converter. So that is 1080p. So it converts it to 1080p basically for our whole thing. Because this box only supports 1080p, so it's not even like, but it's 1080p, but you get two side by side. No, it's like 1080p total, like that resolution. What is it? 72 pixels per square inch? No, I'm thinking Photoshop, sorry. So then this $130 adapter goes into our two $55,000 projectors. The projectors can do 4K with pixel shift, which basically shifts the image diagonally by half a pixel every 30 or 60 times a second. Which, like, but that's not real 4K. Yes, but it's close enough to where it doesn't need to upscale to 4K, because if you have a red pixel, a blue pixel, and then a red pixel, if whenever you go to 1080p from 4K from like the MacBook or whatever, you're missing that blue pixel in the middle. So upscaling is just going to add another blue pixel into the middle, and it doesn't add in back that red pixel because it doesn't know it was there, which makes sense. These are the two extra cables which go to our audio recorder, which we got removed so we could actually fit our buttons back. They try to take away our buttons. This EQ test is literally to our Dante network. The one at the stage manager box, stage right, that is a XLR input. So you could plug in, I guess, a diagnostic mic, and I believe it goes into the DSP. I'll have to check that. So this would go to our Dante primary switch, except they moved it up here and put this to our Dante primary switch. This whole button thing is supposed to be integrated according to the plan into all the touchscreens. This one back here. But it's not. We currently cannot power off this thing. Unlike the CL3, which every 10 seconds would do autosave, this one does no autosave. So then I tried talking with the contractors. They're like, make sure you save your shot. I'm like, yes, I get that part, but we need autosave. Or not that, but we don't want to leave this on all the time. There are weeks or months where we don't ever use this. So what I did here is you have a queue named light, and then you can go to the queue, you're there. You go to the queue named dark, and it darkens everything. That's the only setting that changes. I have these as the quick connect buttons, or press buttons to light, and then go back to your queue, whatever it is. For the show the only attributes I had in my recall safe, which I actually call recall filter on Alan Heath stuff, was the mute level, and it was the left strip assignment. So I kept right strip the same, which is why there's God mic here, since I forgot to add it in. I didn't want to reprogram it through every cue, but it's also why, like, some cues, we were doing some playing around with naming, so it's like, David, how are you today? So if I go to like Q10, it pops up, TFX, David, how are you today? We're playing around with naming to see how well it goes over to the little mini surface over there, which it does. So